Welcome to Spiritually Raw. We expose and explore controversial truths, myths, and theories surrounding the spirit world. Guests includes investigators, debunkers, and skeptics of the supernatural, unexplained, and flat-out unimaginable. Content discussed on this show is not necessarily the opinion of the cast of Spiritually Raw, and topics quite often are for mature audiences only. This show is not intended to replace any medical, financial, or legal advice and is for entertainment purposes only. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Hey everybody, what's going on? I know you have a show to watch, so let me get real quick into this with you. Okay, so Ascended Masters you're watching right now, browse, select, ascend. It's very easy to use. All you have to do is scroll down here. You're going to see the different categories, sessions, courses, products, entertainment, books, conscious business growth. All you do is you simply click on the category that's resonating with you or that you're in need of, and you're going to see a video directory of some of the greatest minds out there. And within 5 to 7 minutes, you'll find out who that person is, what their style is, and if they're going to help you on your journey called life. It's a very easy formula to follow right here. And also too, if you're one of those who does have a product or service that you think that will be a benefit to others and you'd like to be on Ascended Masters, our email is in the description below. It's askspirituallyraw@gmail.com. We'll set up a time to chat and see how you can make a difference in the world for people. So hope you're enjoying the site, everybody. Thanks for sharing this, and much love to you. And most importantly, enjoy the show. We'll see you next time. Hello, everybody. How are you? And welcome to Spiritually Raw. We hope you woke to the most miracle morning and are also having the most fortunate day today. Huna Mauta is with us today, aka Huna Flash. This is going to be really, really cool. Lemurian light shaman of New Zealand. Yeah. So there's so much more into that, into what I'm saying there too, but April's going to tell you about that in just a second. Thank you, everybody, as you always do, for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate the love exchange. All of our links will be in the description below. And remember, you'll be able to watch this episode in its entirety, fully uncensored at spirituallyraw.live. So am I missing anything?
Yes, please do, from wherever you're watching this show, if you could just take a quick second, hit the like button. And also please subscribe and share the video. We surely would appreciate it. And make sure, did you talk about the Telegram channel?
I did not, but you just did.
For those of you, the best way to get a hold of us, reach us, and never miss a show is please connect with us on our Telegram channel and our Telegram group chat.
So Huna Flash, yes?
Yes, I'm so excited to have you on today. Huna Mauta, aka Huna Flash. He's a Lemurian light shaman of New Zealand. Now, so I can literally just stop right there, but there's so much more to his story. He is the keeper of the Great Seal of Kunnara. He was born of the ancient Maori Navigators lineage. I hope I got that right. In New Zealand, at the age of 7, he had awoken to his remembering, to the speaking, to the vibration, to the frequency and the energy, nurtured by his elders and the culture at home in his sacred longhouse and canoe. He was recognized as the one who is ready to receive the initiations to the knowledge and the wisdom of the unknown. Make sure to check all of his information out. He's also on YouTube. All the links will be in the description, but his website is www.hoh.earth. Again, everything will be in the description. Thank you so much, and welcome to the show, Huna.
Hi, everybody. Nice to be here.
That's good to have you here. It really is. All right, you got a lot going on there, don't you? You know what I mean? This is pretty cool. So at age 7, let's get that journey, if we could, from you. Okay, this is cool. People watching you for the first time. At age 7, what happened? You know, what was the connection that happened and said, okay, boom, this is the catalyst now for where we're at today?
Yeah, the mountains started speaking to me, and of course, these mountains are in my backyard where I grew up, and the mountain range itself is known as a giant. It's spoken of as the giant, and the giants of this particular location. And so in the lineage, in our culture, the mountains, the land, the water, the sky, and the mountains, they speak of the ancient. They have the vibration and the frequency of the blueprints. And so their energetic being, their energetic flow is still there. So I started, hearing sounds, right? As children, we hear so much, and the challenge was it wasn't really so much of a challenge. I'm 7 years old. I'm like, what is this? you know, I'm sitting in the backyard. I'm like, what? I'm looking at the mountain and saying to me, go to America, go beyond, go to the places. You know, these are the things I'm hearing. It's telling me to go beyond, and I'm going, well, what's that about? You know, and I'm young, right? I'm 7. How am I supposed to decipher that? What do you mean, go beyond? And when you come to us, it's like saying, come to us and we'll take you beyond. So it was saying, go beyond this mountain, go beyond us, and go to, I suppose now it makes sense, right? But as I'm 7 and 8 and 9 years old, I'm like, go to America. So I'm telling my parents, hey, I'm going to America. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? Wow, they just said, go to America. Yeah. I'm just going to go for dinner in New York, and I'll be back in 50 years. So yeah, it was saying, go beyond these mountains and go across the waters to the lands far beyond what we call Tamonanui Akiwa, across the ocean, across the great expanse of the ocean. So the elders, you know, my parents and my elders, they began to decipher and interpret what I'm saying to them, what I'm sharing with them, and
they took it very seriously.
Well, it's yes. Fortunately and unfortunately, it's always serious in my culture, and everything is serious. When you do the haka, you don't do the haka just because, you know, it's a good time. It's very serious, and it's serious joy. These are awakening moments, and they recognize that.
I got you. I want to just even in the bio in itself, there's just a lot there, right? You know, so I want to just kind of hit on a couple of things for you. First of all, I have to ask you.
I was going to say it too.
What you're wearing right now? Can you show that to us? That's pretty wild. Or your necklace.
Your pendant.
Yeah.
Lemurian crystal.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
That's a beautiful one.
That's pretty cool. That's very cool.
I got a few of them.
A
bunch of them. Just tie them up and hang them around my neck.
Yeah, all right. Well, nice. It's definitely noticeable.
It works for you.
It definitely does what it's supposed to be. Okay, Huna Mauta, aka Huna Mauta, forgive me, aka Huna Flash. Now those were your names. Are those ceremonious names that were provided for you?
Okay, so now they nicknamed me Flash, right? The full essence of the light sound. It's the sound of the nameless one. The Huna is the sound of the nameless one, the one that is unlimited. So understand that it's the sound of light. So Mauta Kumara Taki is the full essence of expression of my light as a sovereign light being, and an expression of it in a way that has sovereign characteristics about it. Taki literally means flash, literally means light. What type of light? Source light, like the arcing light. You see lightning. But if you take a battery and you arc it together, you'll get the spark, and it's that light color that is specific to the taki, and that is so taki, and so they just started nicknaming me Huna Flash. You know.
All right. Okay.
But this is the journey towards this understanding from a young age to now. My birth name, I don't know you have it there, but my birth name is Dane Hohepa Nahuka. Now, when you say Dane, we don't say Dane typically in our culture. We would say Dane, even Tane. When it's Dane, but they'll say Tane. So all through my life they would call me Dane. Sometimes they call me some other crazy names, but Dane was one of them. And what Dane, and relative to Tane, which in our culture, the creation story is Tane is the creator of the human race, of humanity. In our creation story of the Hawaiians and the Polynesians, Tane is the creator of humanity. Now, so Dane and Dane became that journey together when I was growing up. Nahuka, which means something sweet, or to give more sweetness and add more sweetness to whatever it is, whatever you think, just add more sweetness, or even like more sugar, if you like. Well, Nahuka brings us to another expression, another connection to Mauta. Nahuka, Mauta. Just the transference, they're very close, Nahuka and Mauta. And so Mauta, so when you say Tane and you say Mauta, Tane Mauta is the full expression of the one who is the creator of the human race, of humanity. Tane Mauta, Tane Mahuta, which is also the god of the forest, of in the forest, all things of the forest, and over and above the forest. This is Tane Mahuta, in terms of our creation stories, yeah? These are deities, this is deities, this is, and that expression. And so there's the flow that came from that as I began to be initiated and began to do more of the work, the light work, purification of land, water, sky, as a Huna, Kahuna shaman, and began to understand the marriage between the marriage that was merging, the convergence of Dane Nahuka into Tane Mahuta into Mauta. Now, Mauta itself is going beyond the flag, right? Because Maoridom is my flag, my nationality. But going beyond Maoridom would mean that you drop some letters in the sound, and then when you're going beyond Maori, you're going to Lemuria. If you are going beyond Hawaii, you're going to Lemuria. If you're going beyond Samoa, Tonga, Tahiti, and Fiji, you are going to Lemuria. You want to say Mu, if you are connected to Mu, and most are, whales and dolphins, then you are drop letters that come from a certain flag. So the Maori flag, the New Zealand flag, I can recognize my flag and everything that it is of my lineage, and return to Lemuria within these sounds. Now, I'm not saying that, okay, and this is a little bit complex for you, maybe, and maybe not.
We can take it.
We'll break it down
this
together.
This is spiritually raw. We can take it.
We'll break it down.
So the breakdown comes into the confirmation of the work I have done over the 3 or 4 decades now to confirm the essence of my light, and it is confirmed outside of me. You are always confirmed outside of yourself. You can make proclamations, but they have to be confirmed if they are to be spoken of by your tribe or your community or the ones following you, right? So these confirmations came over the many years, and then Mauta Kumara Taki became in my later years really stable and confirmed.
Have you since you got the voices through the mountains, and then when your elders and your parents were able to really interpret what you have you always now done what you're doing now since that age of 7? I mean, has this literally been since your life's work all the way through?
And can I tag on that? And after you had that experience, when did your parents or the elders start putting you through different variations and initiations?
Oh, that happens at the age 3.
Oh.
That before any speaking comes along, we're already doing the things, and that's also part of why we can connect the land, water, sky, but we connect to the atmosphere, and we connect to the mountains, and we connect to the lineage of giants and Lemuria. It's because we are tutored these ways as our culture since age 3. So age 3 and 4, we are doing the haka, which is the dance of fire. You may be familiar with the haka. And so through the haka, there is so much story and connection and energy, vibration, and frequency at a very young age.
That's great.
That's our identity. This is our identity. And so we are steeped in it from a very young age. And by the time you're 7, 8, and 9, you're standing in front of an audience of whatever, 100 people or whatever, your classroom, and you can give a mastery of your oratory and your lineage back at least 500 years, even at that young age.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
That's a typical morning, and
that's a typical morning.
Maoridom in New Zealand, yes. And,
yeah,
we shared this. We're very fortunate, yes.
Yes.
Are you in the United States now, or are you still in? New Zealand?
No, I live in the Yucatan Peninsula in the Riviera Maya. In
I
Mexico.
got you. Okay, I got you. Okay. And then as far as getting back to earlier, what I wanted to know from you earlier, so has this been your profession, your journey, if you would, since that age?
I've had day jobs.
They suck, right? Then they just don't compare.
I've worked in the shearing sheds. I've worked in the slaughterhouse. I've worked in all kinds of jobs. You know, you had a day job. I had a day job. I'm learning, and so yeah. But I've also been tutored in the masteries in the tools of Lemuria and through the Maori culture. So I've also been a teacher, and I have had workshops. I've tutored people in many different dimensions, including in sports. And I owned a rugby club. I owned a rugby team. I coached rugby. I played it all my life. We work with this incredible athleticism. We don't look at it like rugby. We don't even think of it as rugby. We are, as athletes from Lemuria, rugby is a platform that we utilize to have a lot of fun and make fun of people, pretty much, and rule the game, right? But that's really a teaching of multiple dimensions. If you ever train with our teams and our coaches, you'll find the depth and the technology there and the multiple dimensions of this sport. So I have, that's part of the education. And also I have been, doing a lot of healing work, as you'd like to say, expansionist work, quantum level work, vibration, energy, frequency, and magnetic work for a very long time, since probably 16. I really started doing the hands-on physical locations and doing the work hands-on when I was probably 16, 17. Yeah.
So is your family lineage from Lemuria, or you particular yourself?
No, we are my family lineage, my people, the Maori people. All of us, actually, even you guys, right? So if you don't remember, but Lemuria began 650 million years ago, right? It's when New Zealand and Hawaii were together. When we talk about Lemuria, we go back to that moment. And then there were 4 civilizations of Lemuria expanding from outwards. So there were 4 Lemurias. Then, and a long time later, along came Atlantis, which was a long time later, right? So we had already penetrated the planet and been with the planet since she was known as Tara, right? She was spoken of as Tara, which was 600 million years ago.
What actually, from your perspective, what actually happened with Lemuria?
Well, there was the first 2 civilizations that I am very aware of and remembering. There were natural cataclysms that happened, not through war. There was a war that came during 3rd Lemuria and 4th Lemuria. But the first 2 Lemurias, there were natural cataclysms and changes where Lemuria was evolving. It moved from the Pacific, then it moved across America to Europe. And Europe and America and Europe became part of the 2nd Lemurian civilization. Okay? All of Europe is 2nd Lemuria to us. Then 3rd Lemuria, and it went around the globe, and 3rd Lemuria moved over to Asia and Indonesia. This is the Vimana, the Ramana, and all of that, actually before all of India came along, right? But to the mountain, when the mountains were there. So there was a great shift there. And then at those times in 3rd Lemuria, things started turning to distorted light. So a couple of civilizations later, and then distorted light came along.
Okay, so the original Lemurians, let's say, were they extraterrestrial living on the Earth plane, or were they humans with extreme abilities living on the Earth plane?
Yeah, the things mixed up. There were many star nations are Lemurians. Lemuria is a civilization, right? And not we were all Lemurian because all star nations became part of the civilizations of Lemuria, and not just on this planet. We came from all other planets too. It's known as a civilization. There's a mistake being made by many who are saying they're Lemurian. Okay, right. Yeah, You're like if you go move from Idaho and go move to Hawaii, you become Hawaiian.
Right, I got you. Okay.
Yeah,
so that's more of a geographical.
Yeah, Lemuria is a time and space of a civilization and a mindset of consciousness that was at the time of Lemuria, what we say is before confusion.
Ah.
And the many star nations were at that point, we were coalescing, converging into the one consciousness, and Lemuria is well known in such a beautiful memory. And then along came a distorted light from third Lemuria and fourth Lemuria, where I actually live now. I actually live where it was once known as fourth Lemuria. And so these places had wars, and the nations and the star nations were starting to do some, there was betrayal, let me say. There was betrayal in the star nation.
The how you just used the reference of, people make the mistake of say Lemurian, if you would, like that. Or what other misconceptions are commonly used with Lemuria right now that you can help? Because there's a lot of conversations regarding, and there always has been for a long time. But what are some pretty from your perspective obvious misconceptions when people refer to Lemuria that are being thrown out there?
Yeah, there were many civilizations within the periods of the Lemuria, any one of them, four of them. And there were many civilizations that some have memories of, and some were kings and queens. There were many kings and queens of several territories within the Lemurian consciousness and expanse. Let me say civilization. So many star nations were creating different civilizations within the Lemurian concept, within the Lemurian consciousness, and all from different star nations. So you have some that are remembering certain pieces, and I don't mean to sound like they don't know what they're talking about. They do. They just remember what they remember, right? And part of my job is to just try to help bridge the gap between those moments, and get a little bit of clarity. So and we can say we're Lemurian, as even if we say we moved to Hawaii to become Hawaiian, and that's okay. But when you go to the detail, you go to the micro on this, if you go to the fractal, and the fractal on, of course, we come from a lot further away than that. But we are all of the one relationship, and let us invite to be always of the right relationship, which is a Lemurian way, the Lemurian way in consciousness of being oneness, in the oneness, and let us understand this is before confusion. Now, there was a lot of confusion that came in. I mean, there's a lot of confusion now. Right?
Oh, for sure.
Would it be like saying like you're yeah, I'm just gonna throw it out there. So would it be like just like say you're a Hinduism or you're a Buddhism? Would it be a a way of life, if you would, or a philosophy? Would that?
Yeah, the civilizations we know of today, the Vedic, the Hindu, the Buddha, the Christianity, the Hebrew, the Israelites, everything, all of those are pieces of Lemuria. Even Atlantis created by many star nations to create from Lemuria to create the Atlantean civilization after Lemuria fell. Now, so India being Sanskrit language, when it's spoken, when it's returned, and remove the flag. If you remove the flag for a moment, and you allow yourself, or you allow to go beyond the flag and to go a little deeper in terms of sound, vibration, energy, frequency, and magnetics, we are all already healers. We are already that. We can already heal ourselves and each other. And expansion. So and in the expansion, it is returning back to the blueprint. And so when India speaks of their technologies and their modalities and protocols, these are pieces of Lemuria emerging and being held and shared within their culture, and not necessarily exactly founded from within their culture, because as many did, the mountain Kailash is before the flag, right? The mountain is the blueprint. The mountain is before the flag. So if India has got their blanket laid upon the mountain and laid upon the land at the mountain, around the mountain, you have to go deeper than that and go back to the mountain in the beginning.
Right.
You won't find the language of this. You'll find it in a more ancient sound There are bits of it. They have little bits of it in the Sanskrit, but it's even deeper than that when we speak into Lemuria and the light language, because it's not really language. You're returning to vibration, energy, and frequency, and the magnetics of it is your challenge to ride the dragon and not allow the dragon to ride you.
Was it a telepathic communication that was going on there?
Well, I mean, there's 9 senses, right? Communication is in 9 senses, so telepathic is just part of it. But also it became more to the speaking in the civilization, communication through the breath, through the voice and the sound, more languaging. Remember, we split out. There was another misnomer, or even, let me just say another thing that happened during the biblical times is where they say that the many languages were come out of the one language to speak the many languages, right? Well, this Lemuria is returning back to the one language and to the truth, right? Back to the truth of before confusion. Because from that moment and moments like it, there was a lot of confusion caused within the tribes, the 12 tribes, 13 tribes, whatever you say, tribes. And the languages, the 12 languages splitting out caused a lot of separation. And now our understanding is that was a manipulation, and that was an agenda to cause separation and split everyone so they could be conquered, right?
Taking that philosophy of what you just said and bringing it into where we're at today, from your point of view, is there any truth, or does it resonate with you when you hear about the reptilians have done this and they cloaked us and they put, all this mind control? And is that really
prevent us from getting into 5D or different dimensions?
What is your philosophy on that theory?
Well, these things that happen, it's not just, that's true. That stuff happened and it's happening. It happened during the fall of Lemuria 4, before Atlantis 1 came along. It's betrayal that caused Lemuria 4 to collapse. And this was the time, earlier time of the Orion Wars and the Syrian War. So it's much longer, earlier than Atlantis. It was in the time of Lemuria 4. And so the Draconians, the Anunnaki, the Archons, and other factions, there's many names, they came in to manipulate, came back to manipulate part of their lineages, the interference of the indigenous peoples, the interference of the many tribes, even in the later civilizations of Atlantis, and then moving from Atlantis into Egypt, even in those periods. I say the last 30,000 years to even longer, last quarter million actually. And a lot of the interference was brought by them into the lineage of the families today. So you have a lot of European families that have the Archon Draconian coding that was in their DNA, in their backbone, the vertebrae. Now,
are they all taking what you just said? Because it is in the lineage, and you hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, the dark is gone, the light is winning." But is there truth to that, or will there always be that draconian bloodline throughout our existence?
We are of the vertebrae in this form. So like the vertebrae of the reptilian, it is of that coding. But from that vertebrae comes an aspect of many beings, like many dragons come from one vertebrae, like many species come off of that vertebrae. They're a vertebrae and an invertebrate, right? It's still the same thing. There's still many aspects of the vertebrae, even if you say it's invertebrate. You're already acknowledging that there's
right.
Right.
Exactly.
There's an energy there. So we have aspects of it. Now, Draconians have, if we are speaking about free will, let us move into a higher frequency of free will, which is free will with accountability and responsibility to one another. Now, that's where we are today. We are in that area that is a challenge, and it has always been a challenge, but we are, at my understanding, 75 to 80% there. There is 20% that is
great news.
There is 20% that is a struggle. Now, we know who the families are. You guys know who the families are who've been interfered with. right? And they can't help it because it's really strong within their lineage to manipulate the poor and do this and that to civilization, which was a betrayal that they got so used to betraying, and they got so used to it, treating the humanity this way. And so, but that is being, that is being defeated every step of the way, every nanosecond of the day. We are bringing much more light and light before confusion, let me say undistorted light, into the atmosphere.
Can I tag on that?
Yeah.
I just want to tag on that because I never really thought about this till right now. Okay, taking the archons, the reptilians, whatever you want to call that sector or that species, were they always that way, or were they manipulated by another type of species that did the same thing to them that they have done to us?
Hello, everybody. How are you? Much love to you. It's very good to see you and hang out with you. I hope you're having a fantastic day here. So let me give you some updates about what's going on with Spiritually Raw. So as you can see right here, right, a new facelift. I hope you like it. Okay, so this is the new facelift, the image of the site. So watch Evolve Ascend. It's very cool, very streamlined. Everything's broken down in very easy catalogs, playlists for you to watch whatever kind of topic you're looking for to help you on your journey called life. So let's check it out together. All right, so literally here you go, the homepage right here. You can scroll down. If you're already a member, same login and password as you normally do. If you're not, you can click right here, join now, get a 3-day free trial, check out and binge on the whole network as much as you want. I hope you like it, and I'm sure you will, but that's 3 days on us. Okay, so don't forget to check that out if you're not already. Here's some videos that are recent that we just put up there that you'll be able to check here. Now, also too, I want to go back here real quick, catalog. So this is how we've broken it down for you. Super simple and very easy playlist, new releases, intuitive psychic mediums, the Great Awakening, metaphysical, current events, 2020 videos for those of you who want to take a trip down memory lane and see how that all worked out. Prosperity, special report, I mean, so on and so forth. I mean, it goes on and on and on. We have really brought together the best minds out there that are coming in to entertain us, but then to break it down so simple, again, to help us on our journey called life. So this is really cool here. So also, I want to point out here for those of you who have actually said, hey, you know, I do want to have my own show. We also have a master course preview, and that's there to designed to teach all of you who would like to have your own show, or maybe even need some help in being interviewed when you are on other shows too. But let's go down a little further. I want to show you something else. So for all of you out there who have Roku, you simply need to click here and you can now watch us on Roku TV. Coming soon within the coming weeks, within probably a week or so, you'll see us on the iPhone, Apple. We're streaming everywhere. You'll be able to download the app soon on Apple. But as of right now, like I said, you can stream us anywhere there. So, and these are some examples of the topics that you're going to be watching when you do go to spirituallyraw.live. So thank you very, very much for hanging out with us as you always do. Really do hope you are having the most miracle mornings and are having the most fortunate days. And this really is bringing you a lot of value. And again, helping you on your journey called life. So thanks again, and we will see you all next time.
We'd like to share a story. While it may sound fictional, it's very real and happening right now in front of our very eyes. It's called the Great Awakening. Our sisters and brothers that come on Spiritually Raw are doing everything to help expand global consciousness, and in many cases putting everything on the line to share their messages about what's happening around the world for the greater good of humanity. We are living in the most unbelievable times. Some may even say biblical, scary for many and yet exhilarating for others. Together we are taking part in getting everyone acclimated to the Great Awakening process and the exciting new discoveries that lie ahead. The sad part is many of our amazing guests are being heavily censored, socially shamed, and outright banned on many platforms for exposing the truth and piercing the veil. By becoming a viewer, you bring your powerful energy towards this global movement of other truth seekers. If you're resonating with our show, please let us know by hitting the like button, sharing, subscribing, turn on the notification, and leave some comments. Together, we will turn the universal key to global harmony and create a unified world. And remember, tune in often, tell all your friends, and most importantly, may all your dreams come true. Thanks, and God bless Patriots worldwide.